Elisa Crouch, Post-Dispatch, a reporter, joins us. Good morning, Elisa Crouch. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Your story earlier in the week in the newspaper sort of laid out what they're talking about down in Jefferson City. What did the Missouri Board of Education hear in its proposal?
Well, they heard a proposal that's drastically different than anything we've ever seen here in Missouri, and that is basically taking a school district whenever it becomes unaccredited, and the state goes far beyond just replacing the school board. It would take over the district. The district would completely go away, and eventually the schools within that district would be run by nonprofits.
Where is this proposal coming from?
It's coming from a consulting group called C-Trust, and that stands for the Cities for Education Entrepreneurship. It's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
And so this is just one of several proposals that the Education Commissioner and the Department of Education is considering right now.
And I know someone mentioned this, I can't remember who it was, and they said, it sounds like there's just going to be, could be charter schools. It sounds like that kind of
I think to the average person, there won't be much difference. There would be definitely a legal difference between these nonprofits that would be running schools and charters. The nonprofits would report directly to this state-run school board, or it's not a school board. It's the state-run district, and whereas charter schools, they have sponsors. They have the legal requirements and the accountability structure is much different. But to a parent and to a student, it probably would seem just about the same.
Who's pushing this idea? Is it a Democrat or a Republican, or is there any bipartisan support in this?
Well, it's hard to know if there's bipartisan support at this point. So this idea came from this consulting group, and there are similar ideas that are being pushed by other groups. So, for instance, there's an organization in Missouri called the Missouri Association of School Administrators, and they came up with a plan that is not exactly like this, but it's similar. It would place troubled schools within a state-run school system. There's a bill before the Senate that is, kind of mirrors that plan from the state school superintendents. So there are several versions of this idea floating around right now in Jefferson City, and I think probably sometime next month we're going to find out where the Education Commissioner stands on them, and she's going to come up with her final proposal for board approval. Would
the school district just remain? Would it just go away forever, and would this nonprofit take it over in perpetuity?
Well, so the school district would go away forever under this proposal that came out on Monday. The school district would be abolished completely. So in its place would be the state-run school system. So the nonprofits would be operating the school. The state would actually be managing the schools themselves. So and the state system would handle things like busing. Some of these system-wide things that school districts do. But in terms of setting, making ideas on curriculum, staffing, all of that would be delegated to, the nonprofits running the schools, the principals, the educators.
But really, the parents wouldn't be able to vote on the school board members, so the parents wouldn't necessarily have a say in what's being taught in their school.
No, but if you think about it, right now for instance, Riverview Gardens, which is unaccredited, they don't anyway. The
Right.
board in Riverview Gardens is not an elected board anymore.
Right.
In 2010, it became a state-appointed board. Normandy, if Normandy, as long as it doesn't go bankrupt, and it probably will in March, if Normandy remains a school district, chances are, if nothing like this happens, then its board would be replaced by a state-appointed board. We know St. Louis Public has been run by an appointed board for some time too, although, St. Louis right now is provisionally accredited.
Right.
So, in other states where they have, when they have other states that have systems similar to this, parents say they feel like they actually have more say in how their schools run because the decisions are made much closer to where their kids are.
Right. It's an interesting proposal. We'll see where it goes, but this is the first step. I guess the Board of Education has to sort of give its approval as to which one of these plans they like going forward.
Yeah, they'll have to pick one, or actually the commissioner will have to pick one, but she may, develop her own plan that might be a hybrid of all of these. So it's just hard to tell at this point what she's going to come up with. But one thing is for certain, the commissioner and the state board seem like they definitely want to head in a direction that's vastly different than where we've been.
Well, it sounds to me from your reporting, Elisa, that the only thing everyone can agree on is that the status quo is not what they want to do.
Right, and fixing the schools is a priority.
Yeah. Elisa Crouch with us, St. Louis Post-Dispatch education reporter. Thank you, Elisa. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
You got it. 8:58 here.